going to do now is we're going to look at the text that you've just examined on your own, which is from the second book of Samuel, chapter 6, verses 10 through 23. And we're going to explore different types of literary tools that we have looked at in the previous lessons, and with an attempt to try to think together about which of these tools appear in this specific text. The background for this text, as we know, is that David is building his strength in terms of his popularity as a potential king. We're building here, we understand here the context of Saul and his role in the Israelite people, and how his popularity is sinking, and at the same while David's popularity is increasing. We understand the complex nature of the biblical figure here of Michal, and the tension on the one hand of her being the daughter of Shaul, and at the same time, as we know from a previous biblical text, how she loves David. And all of these components fit into the following story, which is a story which takes place when the Ark of God is being brought to Jerusalem. And here we're going to look at three specific literary texts and how three literary tools and how they help us gain a deeper understanding and a new dimension of importance in this particular text. So first, if we look at one of the literary skills that we've been talking about is the lead word. So if you turn for a moment to verse 12, in verse 12, take a look at this verse. And it was told King David, saying, "The Lord hath blessed the house of Obed-Edom, and all that pertaineth unto him, because of the ark of God. And David went and brought up the ark of God from the house of Obed-Edom into the city of David with joy." Now, the clear lead word in this verse is the name of David. It appears here in three different contexts. In the first one, it says, it was told to King David. In other words, he's referred here to as the king. He is referred to here as the one in charge. And that's critical for our understanding of what goes on in future chapters as well as in the rest of this chapter. So it says here, King David. Then it says, if you continue, because of the ark of God, and David went and brought up the ark of God. Here it doesn't refer to him as the king, but rather as David, because here what he's doing is he's going as an individual to assume a critical active role in this whole process. And here we see his greatness as an active individual, as an active leader, and not necessarily as the symbolic role of king. And then finally, at the end of the verse, it says, into the city of David with joy. And here, David's association is with the city, So here it has a different connotation, a different connection, a different association. So here I believe we have a wonderful example of a lead word in verse 12 as an opportunity for us to think about why does this word appear three times in one particular verse. Okay, if we move on now to the word that will appear several times, but let's look at verse 16 first. And it was so, as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, looked out at the window. How is Michal referred to here? She's referred to as the daughter of Saul. If you look at verse 20 now, it says, "Then David returned to bless his household, and Michal, the daughter of Saul." Once again, she's referred to as the daughter of Saul. We know that she's the daughter of Saul. Why does the text have to tell us again? And then again, and once again, in verse 23 it says, and Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no child until the day of her death. Once again, why does it have to tell us that she is the daughter of Saul? I believe that this is an example of superfluous words, because the message here is that there's a tension here between Michal as an individual and the fact that she is the daughter of Saul and cannot disconnect herself from her relationship with her father, and the complex nature of her relationship with David here comes to the fore, where she has, on the one hand, we know that she loves David, but on the other hand, how she shows disrespect to David as a result of the fact that she's still tied into her identity as the daughter of Saul. And one last example that we will look at is a gap in the text. A gap in the text which we discussed earlier, I believe, appears in verse 16. And this is an opportunity to invite our students to note that there's a gap in the text and to take advantage of this and encourage them to fill that gap. So here we go. And it was so, as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, looked out at the window and saw King Saul leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart. She despised him in her heart, but we don't know why. She sees him leaping and dancing, but what goes on here? What causes her to despise him in her heart? He is not doing anything to offend her directly. He's not doing anything to somehow invite this feeling that she hates him. So what is going on here? And as I said, I believe that this is a wonderful opportunity to invite our students to fill in this gap, because the text does not explicitly tell us why she hates him, but rather to help our students trigger their imagination and to add their own interpretations of why Michal despises David in her heart.